We are continuing to follow that historic breaking news as we come on the air tonight. Former President Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 felony counts in his New York hush money trial. This is his motorcade that is now on its way back to his residence, the first president in U.S. history to be convicted of a criminal offense. Now, this is live again as his motorcade has left the courthouse after the trial. Now, the trial centered on the concealment of a hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels just before the 2016 presidential election. Now, the judge could sentence Trump to probation or up to 4 years for each count. In-state prison with a maximum of 20. Atra Elnashar explained what's next.
It took the 12-person jury roughly 11 hours over a day and a half to find former President Trump guilty on 34 felony counts, all 34 counts. Now, the verdict came down quicker than many experts anticipated, given the complexity of this case. Now, the sentencing, what happens next, that'll occur at 10 a.m. on July 11th. That's just before the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. Now, Trump's legal team has already said they will appeal this verdict. That's expected to delay things potentially until after the election. This is all very fluid. Trump, though, came out right away and addressed reporters outside the courtroom. He repeated claims that the case in his eyes was rigged. However, earlier today, we did hear from one of his attorneys complimenting how hard and thoroughly the jury was working. We've also just heard from the Biden campaign. They say, quote, "In New York today, we saw that no one is above the law. Donald Trump has always mistakenly believed he would never face consequences for breaking the law for his own personal gain," and went on to make the argument for why the American people should not vote for Trump in November. It's possible we hear directly from President Biden. When the verdict came out, he was in Delaware with the First Lady. So we'll be watching for any announcement from the White House to see if he addresses this matter as the president, or perhaps he may address it as a candidate on the campaign trail. On Capitol Hill, I'm Atra Elnashar.
And as she just alluded to, the former president spoke outside the courthouse after he was convicted.
It's a rigged trial, a disgrace. They wouldn't give us a venue change. We were at 5% or 6% in this district, in this area. This was a rigged, disgraceful trial. The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Reporters in the courtroom say Trump stared at the jurors as the verdict was read. His lawyers expected to quickly appeal that verdict. Leaders across the country and here in the state reacting to the guilty verdict. Gwyneth Falloon joining us now live, tracking some of those reactions for us. Gwen?
Republican Senator J.D. Vance released this statement on X within just minutes of that verdict. He says, quote, "This decision is a disgrace to the rule of law in our Constitution. Dems invented a felony to get Trump with the help of a Soros-funded prosecutor and a Biden donor judge who rigged the entire case to get this outcome. This isn't justice, it's election interference," end quote. Now, we're also hearing from Attorney General Dave Yost tonight. He says, in part, this verdict is likely to be overturned. It is not the first unjust verdict, and it is why we have a court of appeals. Secretary of State Frank LaRose also reacting here, taking to X, saying in part, quote, "It's a sad day in America when a political party is so afraid of losing its grip on power that they're willing to abuse justice to gain an election." Congressman Jim Jordan also here on X saying in part, quote, "The verdict is a travesty of justice." He then goes on to say, quote, "Americans see through Democrats' lawfare tactics and know President Trump will be vindicated on appeal." Finally, tonight, Ohio businessman Bernie Moreno, he was endorsed by Trump for state senator. He says in part, "Today is a dark day for American democracy." Joe Biden and his left-wing allies engaged in election interference to prosecute their top political opponent on bogus charges. Now, I'm going to continue to follow these social media reactions on social media, and I'm going to have the latest tonight at 10 and 11. Back to you.
Gwen, thanks. So we first brought you this story as breaking news as soon as it happened. You can get those alerts it's right to your phone. Just download our free app. It's easy to do. Take out your phone, scan the QR code on your screen. That'll take you to the App Store, and you can download it for free. And of course, as the night goes on, we'll continue to update you with the very latest. Recovery efforts still underway months after tornadoes hit Logan County. Now, since March, Logan County residents have been receiving help with disaster recovery from federal and state organizations, all in hopes to clean up their communities before summer. Eli Burgett got to visit the Indian Lake area this morning and brings us what he learned.
After a tornado ripped through the Indian Lake area, many people in the community rallied together. But several weeks later, and as summer is fast approaching, there is still a lot of work to be done, and disaster assistance organizations have stepped in to help carry the load.
Here in Logan County and the other 10 declared counties for the March tornadoes, we're trying to help people as they recover from those tornadoes.
The Federal Emergency Management Agency has allocated more than $2.2 million in grants to Logan County residents to help them with home repairs, temporary rentals, and other needs the community may have after the tornadoes in mid-March. A popular tourist destination, FEMA has remained in the Indian Lake area to continue helping the citizens and prepare them for the summer. The people in the Indian Lake communities may have a long way to go with cleaning up their homes, but with organizations like FEMA, at least they know they don't have to do it alone. Back to you.
A second person has now been charged in connection to a pair of legs found in Trotwood earlier this year. Amanda Reif was charged with complicity to commit tampering with evidence and complicity to commit gross abuse of a corpse. That's all in relation to the murder of Edgar Kiter Sr. Now, the victim's son, Edgar Kiter Jr., was also charged. More charges, we're told, could be coming. Also, a Clark County man will now undergo a second competency hearing after judges approved a request this morning. 22-year-old Jackson Blathing is facing several charges, including assault, murder, and tampering with evidence. He's accused of the March 14th murder.
Schools.
State Representative Adam Matthews says he wrote House Bill 556 as a way to protect K-12 students from inappropriate material.
We know that obscenity is not allowed in day-to-day. It's not allowed at Barnes & Noble. It's not allowed at Target, anything there. So why should that be different when a kid's walking through their library?
Under the proposed law, teachers and librarians would face felony charges for pandering obscenity in their schools. This means intentionally giving students books, sharing social media posts, and distributing material that is considered obscene under the state's current definition.
To have its dominant appeal to be these obscene things, whether it's extreme or bizarre violence, cruelty, brutality, and that has to be the main purpose for the work.
It really is puzzling and disturbing to see bills like this introduced.
Congressman Mike Turner has now confirmed that Dayton will host the NATO Parliamentary Assembly in May of 2025. Now, that event typically brings over 250 delegates from more than 50 nations. That meeting would mark the 30th anniversary of the Dayton Peace Agreement, which brought peace to Bosnia and Serbia back in '95. Now, we've sat down with the congressman today who compared the current aggression in Ukraine to that war. Turner says not only is this a celebration of the peace agreement, but a great opportunity to highlight Dayton.
You know, one of the great things about bringing them to Dayton is they'll get to see, one, a thriving community in the Midwest, a medium-sized community that makes a difference. And a lot of that work is done at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, where people every day contribute to our national security and international security, working with our partners throughout the world. That highlight of really the commitment that the United States has that's embodied in the work at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, I think will have a great impression on our guests.
The current plan is to hold the 4-day event around Memorial Day. Turner expects millions of dollars to be spent over that weekend. We're going to take a short break. You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
More flooding in Providence, Rhode Island after nearly 2 inches of rain fell from last night into this morning, while lots of hail littered the grass across portions of eastern Ohio. The photographer of this rainbow cloud in Michigan says it looks like the Greek winged horse Pegasus. And here's a truly stunning sunrise off Florida's Pensacola Beach today.
For more content like this, like the National Weather Desk on Facebook.
As school is ending across the Miami Valley, families will be spending a lot more time outside. However, accidents can happen, especially around things like grills, fire pits, fireworks. That's why Lydia Bai spoke to Shriners Children's Ohio today to learn how to prevent injuries this summer, especially around the fire.
That's right. Shriners Children's Ohio told me that they accepted about 300 new burn patients last year, and 20% of those burns were due to things like fire pits, fireworks, and grills like this one here. Now, if you love grilling out this summer, make sure that you're following these safety tips. 1, make sure that a fire extinguisher is nearby, just in case. 2, make sure that your grill is at least 10 feet away from your home. And 3, never grill indoors.
We see a lot of fire pit injuries, children running around and falling into fire pits. Grill injuries are very common and used more than fireworks. I would say for the actual number of fireworks, there's more injuries associated with fireworks than anything else.
We also learned today that when it comes to fire pits, just like this one, you want to have what they call a circle of safety. Now that is a 3 to 4 foot long circle around the fire pit, about this length, and you want to make sure that your kiddos know not to go within that circle. Now also, as we head into summertime, you want to keep in mind that playground equipment can get so hot that you can be burnt instantly. Now, I know we threw a lot of information at you here, so for more tips as we head into summer, head to the web version of this story on Dayton247now.com. Back to you.
Well, this weekend, more than 100 of our local heroes, they're going to take to the sky for the second Honor Flight Dayton trip of the season. 102 World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and Cold War era vets. They're going to go to D.C. on Saturday, visit the memorials all dedicated to them. And all of it is free, thanks to the Honor Flight Dayton program. Now, here's where you can come in. There's a massive welcome home for the vets at Dayton International Airport Saturday night. So that flight is scheduled to arrive at about 9:30 or so, but you're asked to try and arrive about an hour or so early just to get a spot. Bring your signs, balloons, flags, anything patriotic, and give them the welcome home they all deserve.
Well, a beautiful one across the Miami Valley, but still technically below normal for this time of the year, bringing another blue day here on our calendar as we're about to close out the month of May, which has been a warm month thus far. You can see lots of 80s to start out the month, but past couple of days have been below normal. Tomorrow, though, average high temperature 78 degrees, and we're going to be right about that by tomorrow afternoon. But that being said, with some of these cooler days in place, we're now at the number 7 spot. We were at number 6, but now we're at the number 7 spot for the warmest Mays on record with an average temperature of 68.7. I do think we're going to drop down just a little bit more. This does not include today, which was on the cooler side, but it has been a very warm month and will likely stay in the top 10 warmest Mays on record. With 70s and 60s across the board, we have 67 in Bellefontaine right now, 68 in Urbana, 72 our temperature in Dayton, 72 in Troy. Right now, mostly clear skies, got a few cumulus clouds out there. It's just been a beautiful day, not quite as breezy as yesterday. High pressure settled right over us. That's going to keep things nice, clear and calm overnight. But our next weather maker is back off to our west. That's what's going to increase our rain and thunderstorm chances as we head into this weekend. So looking into the overnight hours, we'll drop into the 40s. I think this is a little on the cooler side, but upper 40s expected across the Miami Valley as you wake up early tomorrow. So we'll have a little chill in the air, but we warm up nicely close to 80 by tomorrow afternoon. It's really going to be a nice day. Now heading into our Saturday, not quite as cool to start us off, and then rain chances develop after lunchtime or so. There are signs that we could potentially see this rain maybe make its way in a little bit earlier into the day, so we'll monitor that, but otherwise plan on showers late into the day on Saturday. Soggy weather pretty much all day long on Saturday, but it does look like a lot of that rain will taper off by our day on Sunday. So temperature wise, although we'll be cooler these next couple of days, still right around normal for this time of the year. By next week, we get lots of 80s back in the forecast, but we also have rain and thunderstorm chances that return too. But if you want to hit the pool over these next several days, this is what we're looking at. Tomorrow, although we have a cool start, tomorrow afternoon's looking good. Soggy weather on Saturday, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, so maybe not the best day for the pool. And then on Sunday, although a few lingering showers, I think Sunday afternoon is looking good with those temperatures back around 80 degrees. Here's a look at that extended forecast with on and off rain and thunderstorm chances through a lot of next week with our high temperatures that will be in the lower 80s.
You're watching Dayton 24/7 now.
The Dayton 24/7 Now News app, brought to you by the Jeff Schmidt Auto Group.
The 4th annual Underground Skate Party kicks off tomorrow night. Taze Joshi shows us how the event will roll.
If you love to skate or if you love anything to do with skating, I've got good news. There's a major event related to skating happening here in the Miami Valley this weekend, specifically here at Orbit Fun Center. And here's what you need to know. This is a 3-day event that's actually bringing in celebrities from the skating community. They're going to be here at Orbit Fun Center on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Plus, there'll be other community events associated with this. For a full schedule, you can look at the flyer you're seeing on your screen right now. A big reason why this event is a big deal is because, as I said, celebrities in the skating community will be here. Plus, there'll be a focus on the unique Dayton style of skating, which you were seeing on your screen right now. It is a very cool style. Our friend Chris, who also goes by the name Ghost when he's in the skating community, was telling us that this is a historic city for skating with its own unique culture. And of course, lots of folks are coming here to experience it. You can go to his Instagram page to learn more about the entire calendar of events happening this weekend. But long story short, here's what you need to know. It's an 18+ event and the fun starts Friday night. And of course, if you love to skate, it should be a good one. My friends, back to you in the studio.
I love that. Glad to see skating is still a thing.
Yeah, I love it. Back in 12 years old, I feel like that was the coolest thing to do.
Yeah.
Like go meet all your friends at a skating rink.
And here we are. Still is.
I feel like I need to try it now, see if I can still roller skate, but it's been a while. But outside today, it was beautiful. Got some nice weather.
I'm picturing you skating.
Right.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. Tomorrow, another nice one.
Okay, good deal. Good night.